Hey guys, it's John, Small Time Bookseller, here with another video. And if you watched my last video, you might be surprised that I changed shirts. And if you're just turning in, you might be wondering, why would they surprise that you change shirts? Well, the fact is, I only own a couple of shirts. And the fact that I changed, well, that just shows how special you are. But I didn't make the next video right after the last one. Some things happened and whatnot. But I'm here making the second half of April. We're going to be talking about books that sold on the second half of April of 2024. And we're going to get right into it because that's what I do. I sell things on eBay and I come here and I tell you what I sold. And mostly those are being books. And so I don't do any garage sale videos. I don't do yard sale videos. I don't do, the Goodwill bins with the GoPros at the Goodwill bins are looking at my hands, all cunning, malicious, treacherous, and revengeful. Well, they are strong and hardy, but a bit of a cowardly spirit, and by consequence, insolent, abject, and cruel. Oh, these hands of mine. They are, well, what am I going to do with them? Anyhow, so we're going to get into the books that sold. Any questions before we begin? Take care of your business if you need to. Restrooms are down the hall to the right. If you please put your cell phones on silent. But if you do need to take a call, step outside and you're more than welcome to do that. Lunch is on your own today when we will get out of here at 3:30 if you all can pay attention, So if we get through this, I'll let you go maybe just a little bit early. All right. The first book that sold in this time period is this one, Understanding the Fundamentals of Music, for $6.50. It's a lot cheaper than a year and a half of college, which is what I spent trying to understand the fundamentals of music. I could have done it all for $6.50. Oh, man. All right. And then I sold some more of this Dansk. I got a whole bunch of Dansk dishes at the thrift store that's near my work, and so they've been slowly selling, which is nice. And this one was a salad plate that sold for $7.50 because your salad is always going to taste better on a Danish plate. Actually, if you just put it straight on a Danish, like the donut kind, that's when you're really going to enjoy your salad, eating it straight off a Danish. I did sell a Q-Link SIM card. Okay. And then the next book after that is The Gemstones of East Africa. Sold for $9. Now, why? The last video, a book on emeralds, sold for like $1,000. No, it was like $80. And then Gemstones of East Africa, I think I picked them up together. It's only $9. I don't know. I don't know. All right. The next book that sold was A New Orleans Voodoo Priestess, The Legend and Reality of Marie Laveau, which reminds me of... okay. All right, I won't tell the story. Ow. Oh. Sorry. The next book that sold, Backgrounds of European Literature from 1954, sold for $10. Okay. And then, where are we at now? Oh, The Thrill of the Case. Case studies, drug interactions, clinical pearls of $10 for all that. Should be more. And then we had our first, is that our first religious book? Our first religious book of the day. I should have like a little bell or something, or have some angels fly in. I'll try to get a hold of some angels, have them fly in and play some lutes and things whenever I'm selling a religious book. That'd be a good effect, I think. I wonder how much a band of angels rents for these days. Oh, well, I got places to check. All right, but the book that sold was Matthew Henry's Commentary on the Whole Bible, complete and unabridged, for $10.02. The extra 2 cents was for that bit in the middle that gets a little tricky sometimes. All right, the next one is Arsène Lupin, the second trilogy, sold for $10.80. I apologize to all my French-speaking friends out there as I tried to pronounce that in French. In case you couldn't tell, that's what I was attempting to do right then, but probably didn't come out too well. Oh, the next one was a fun one. So this was, I picked up a long time ago, a whole box of ephemera, and within that ephemera was these. These were like coloring sheets from 1961. There's like 9 different coloring sheets, and they had in it was Yogi Bear, Huckleberry Hound, Snagglepuss, Heavens to Murgatroyd, Snaggle, coloring sheets for $12. And I apologize to all my bears, Huckleberries, and Snaggle Pie out there for that attempted, very poorly done impersonation of those 3 characters. And they're probably all Mel Blanc anyways, or Mel Blanc, was that his name? Mel Blount? No, Mel Blount was a football player. Wasn't it Mel Blanc that did all the impersonations? I don't know. Should have researched it before you started talking and recording. Oh well. Next up we had 2 more Danish dansk pottery. Not pottery. Why do you keep saying pottery? They're dansk. These are bowls, dishes, and things. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think of. One sold for $13.50. One sold for $15. Had them up for $15, and probably somebody must have just bought one full price, and somebody else got one for a little cheaper at $13.50. We have another book, Hockey Heroes, the game's great players, sold for $15. And then, I sold a slide rule. So at the end of the last school year, maybe 2 school years ago, my wife teaches math at local high school, and they were cleaning out the math closet, and they had a bunch of old slide rules, and apparently they don't use those anymore. And so my wife took them all. We had like 10 of them, and I've been selling them. And so I sold one. This was an N1010ES Trig slide rule with the leather case, and that sold for $20. So they've all been selling roughly around that $20 range. Some of them had the old instructions and a few other pamphlets and things with them. Others didn't, so sometimes they're 15, sometimes a little more than 20. Just kind of depends on each one. Then we had the Greek Myths. This was a nice copy, Folio Society copy. Sold, it was a 2-volume box set for $20. And then the, don't know what the heck this one is, but it's the first steps in SAP S4, Hanna, Brunner, Munzel, Reichhardt. I'm guessing those are the authors. I have no idea what this is talking about, but it's over $21. You don't have to be an expert in everything. Then we had On Wings of Blood, an Aeronautica anthology. That's a Warhammer book, Warhammer 40K. I know there's a 30K and the 40K. I don't know the difference, but this is a Warhammer books sell pretty well. This sold for $22. And then we had an NRA mug. You can carry around the blood of the innocents and drink from it in your NRA mug. That sold for $30. It's a real nice stone mug with the NRA emblem on it. Oh, which reminds me, emblems. I'm gonna have to talk about my hat, which I almost forgot. Don't remind me if you would at the end of this. Atlas of Human Anatomy sold for $34. And then the next one, another good genre to look out for: social emotional learning, SEL. Anything dealing with helping children through trauma, helping children deal with emotions, things like that. Good sellers. And this was a Kimochi's Field Guide for Teacher's Edition, sold for $34. Then we had the Dispensational Truth, another religious book. Oh, I haven't hired the angels yet. Yeah, that's right. Or God's Plan and Purpose in the Ages, sold for $50. And my last 2 sales. So last video, I talked about a buyer who came in and requested like 7 books, packaged them all up and sold them. Well, he came back with another 6. So the same guy bought the 6 books for $66. Again, these were mostly older medical books from like the 50s and 60s. So I keep hoping. I haven't found any of those in a while. It seemed like I used to pretty regularly find at the bins, somebody would be donating an old library, an old collection of medical books. And I would get a lot of them, but I haven't for quite a while, it seems like. And then my last book that sold was called Me and Elvis by Charlie Hodge. This was autographed by Charlie Hodge. And it sold for $125. Not even autographed by Elvis. Autographed by the other guy in the title. The me in the Me and Elvis. So yeah, $125 for that. That was a good one for sure. All of those, unless I mentioned otherwise, were bought at the Goodwill bins, and the hats as well. Books at the bins in Houston are 2 for $1, so I'm basically paying 50 cents a book for everything. Hats go for, they're considered not clothing, this is miscellaneous. Miscellaneous is $1.19 a pound, so hats are, depending on the hat, 50 cents or less for hats that I'm paying for. So, speaking of which, if you would like this hat, State of Cutter, it's a cool little hat, nice colors, everything. It's I've got it listed on my eBay store for some horribly astronomical and overvalued price, but for you, dear listener, would be $5. So if you just want this hat, if you like it, make me an offer $5. Send a message saying that you are a listener, a viewer, a watcher, a purveyor of my, videos here. And otherwise, I'll just, deny it outright. But if you like it, so this does say right here, it does say Qatar. And that, I had to look that one up. That does say state. So just in case you're worried, it might say something other than that. It does say the state of Qatar in Arabic, right across the top there. So it's yours if you want it. And so our sales for this was the second half of April. Came out to 8 Nada books for $112.25. $14.03 average. So I was looking for something around the $14, but I pushed myself. I was like, man, everyone does $14 averages nowadays. Go a little more. $14.03. Heck yeah. Oh yeah. And then my books were 15 books. I mean, actually 15 book sales, because one of those sales was 6 books, but 15 sales for $446.82. $29.79 average, which is well above my made up completely arbitrary figure of $25 that I consider a good sales period average. So that catches us up for now. So putting out the one video probably on Tuesday morning, and this one will come out sometime later. So probably maybe in like 5 days or so, I'll put this one out. Hopefully by then I will have recorded May's videos, and we're going to catch up. As always, just trying to catch up. I don't really have anything to show or ask. If you didn't watch the last video, I'd appreciate it if you did, because I did have a question about if there are any horologists. I really hope that that's the word for a watch expert. Otherwise, that'd be kind of funny if it's not. But I believe it is. So I had a watch that I got at a thrift store, and it was interesting, and I thought I'd like some more information about it. I've not been able to find anything online about it. So go back and look at that video if you don't mind, and tell me maybe some sources or resources, or if you happen to be into horology. I really hope that's the right word. Then let me know what you think, and I will, see you around on the next side or something like that. Hope you're selling the heck out of a bunch of stuff, and I will see you sooner rather than later. Adios.